G'day, I'm Dan.
And I'm Kristy, and we call Canberra our home.
We work, we parent, contribute to our community, living the Australian suburban dream.
With 4 kids, a dog, 2 businesses, large extended family, friends scattered all over the globe, we struggle at times.
But we do it all by embracing the crazy. And this helps us laugh, smile, cry, and brings meaning to our lives.
So join us and share the journey of our modern Australian family madness and embrace the crazy. Hi everyone.
G'day.
Today we're going to talk about imparting joy and igniting the spark in our children. So we had a recent discussion. Dan's focus for this year is focusing on negativity and getting out of that negative funk.
So focusing on positivity.
Positivity.
Yeah. And reducing that focus.
Reducing the negativity. Yes. And after that, I thought about what my focus. I always like to have a focus for each year, but my focus for this year is connecting with everybody, but particularly we're going to talk about how we do it with kids, or how I want to do it with the kids this year. So more time spending my energy doing things that the kids want to do so that they feel like they have a joyful life. So we're going to talk about today why I want that to be my focus and how we're going to do that in our family. And I feel like Dan's just going to sit there nodding along.
No, not at all. I love talking about joy.
So after our discussion about positivity the other day, it got me thinking about my words, or what my focus was for this year and how that will relate to our kids. So I would love to, and I've been really focused on it in the last few months, connecting with the kids with what they want to do. So, and being able to show them that I'm really, really interested in what they want to do, because sometimes you can get lost. You can, doing those things, having those connections with the kids can get lost in the busyness, in the craziness, in the overall just the swell of life. So a few little examples of what I've been doing. So our youngest girl, she loves playing teachers at the moment, loves playing schools. So most days when she says, "Mum, can you play with me?" I will say, "Yes, I would love to play with you." And it's quite cute. And she just thinks it's the absolute bee's knees, doesn't she?
She really loves it.
Dan
really
plays
it. I do it quite a fair bit on the weekends as well. And it's sometimes you have to invent your activity of work, because definitely. She's really focused on her role and what's needed, and looks at you often, or looks at me often awkwardly, like, "I'm not sure what you're doing there, but it's not what I want."
But she doesn't even know. So I do the same, and then she's like, "No, that's not what you're supposed to do." Yeah. So it's quite funny.
It's a lot of fun.
But it's very engaging, and she spends hours and hours. So if we can't give, part of our time to that process, then that's not such a great thing as a parent. And for the boys, last year, Dan and the boys and my dad did a fantasy tipping comp. And I was like, no way am I going to do that. I'll be really bad. I don't know the players well enough. But this year I thought, no, I'm going to do it. And so I've signed up to the fantasy NRL tipping. And I'm actually finding it really fun. I do have to get some help from our middle boy. He's my assistant coach.
You need help. No.
I am coming last, but it gives us something to talk about. And that was the other thing. Last year, that's all we talked about. Fantasy this, fantasy that, NRL tipping, blah, blah, blah. It was all about the footy. And I thought this is a way for me to connect with the kids and actually, have something, because we each week you match up against another player. So this week I'm matching up against our eldest, I think. And so, we trash talk, and, your team's going to be, you don't have enough good players, or, so, and it's actually, there's quite a bit to it, quite a bit of admin, subbing out players and trading players, and it isn't my vibe, but I wanted to give myself over to that because I knew that it would be something that the kids would appreciate.
I think the message of being involved is something we forget about a lot as parents, and I think I ponder on this a lot, because on the weekends when I finally have some time to do things that are needed versus work and life things, what do? You pour yourself into cleaning up the house, doing backyard things, doing jobs that you need to do that you want to get done to make you feel better, to prepare yourself for the week ahead. And they're important and they need to happen, but it sometimes comes at the peril of more important priorities, like what you just talked about, like being involved and getting into it. And I think it's such a challenge as a parent to be able to do both. You want to make sure your lawn looks nice or whatever it is that you need in your house and for your family, but really that'll be back there next week and it'll be the same again. And those times with your kids and spending time doing things that they like, I think that's such a test. Like it's so easy to do things that you like or things that you want to do together, but actually saying, you know what, I'm going to sit with you and play this now because I know you want to do it. And I know you're going to love it. And I'm going to really pour myself into it. Like I'm really going to get into it and really enjoy it and have fun with you, because I know that will give you a lot of fun as well.
Definitely. But it is really hard. And, as our kids get older, you think, oh, I've got so much more time. But I think it's important to realize that time spent with our kids is just as important as time spent doing adult things or doing things that we want to do, because we have that extra time, because our lives aren't totally immersed in caring for our children. But it doesn't mean that there's not some involvement there. And I think that that's a really important thing to call out.
And getting the mix right as well. Yeah, one of the things I think about a lot is it's lovely on the weekends when the kids' friends come over and they play with them. And they don't really want to be playing with dad then.
No.
So that's my time to really go for it and go, all right, I'm going to go and get some stuff sorted, because there is nothing I can do to add value right now, and they're having a great time. And that's their time. And that'll happen when when the cousins are around as well. I don't need to inject myself. I can sometimes, but there's just that. I do love injecting myself, but you've got to make those choices and think. As a parent, that's really tricky and hard, and it evolves over time. When they're young and little, you're in there all the time and injecting yourself all the time. But then it starts to transition away and you make choices of when is the right time and when is not the right time. And that's based on how you feel and what you think their needs are. But it really is like a transitionary state as a parent when you get through those steps. But being involved and being there is just such a, that's our job. Right? That's what we've got to do, and it's not a job.
No,
it's it's our life. That's kind of what our mission is. That's what we should be doing, and what is the most important thing for us. But often we forget about it with everything else going on. And I know I do. It's a real challenge.
Yeah, and so one of the ways that I want to connect more with the kids, but we're spending time together as a family, but also one-on-one. But one thing that we've changed this year, that we're trying to change, is the idea of gift giving for birthdays, and we're providing them with gifts as experiences. So going to a show,
don't spoil them, Kristy.
I'm not going to spoil them. Going to sporting events, doing something that we know the kids will like, and they get that as a gift. Now that's also really, really really hard, because kids like to open things on their birthdays and have something to play with immediately. And this actually stemmed from, at Christmas we gave the boys tickets to, what was it? Motocross, something that was at the local stadium. And my daughter and I stayed home, and Dad took the boys. And when they got home, the faces of those children were just lit up. Like that was the best thing ever. We didn't have the overall excitement on Christmas Day when they opened. Oh yeah, cool. That's not too hard.
I think that part's hard. That is the hard part.
But that delayed gratification is really hard for children and for anybody really. But seeing their faces, and Dan wasn't there, and I wasn't there to watch it, but Dan didn't see their faces when they came into the lounge and when they got home, and it was just pure joy. It was just, Mum, thanks so much for giving us those tickets. We had the best time. And then they explained everything in great detail, and they were just absolutely humming with excitement. So that's where it stemmed from, and I want to feel that way. I want to feel that 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 they have that look when we do these great experiences with them, or we do these wonderful things with them, or we play with them on a Saturday morning, and we talk about fantasy tipping. So it's all about the feel good, right? It's all about imparting joy into their lives and them doing it back to us. It's the filling of the bucket. When you fill somebody else's bucket, your bucket gets filled. So I think it's a really good thing to ponder on, about, how much we involve ourselves, how much we inject ourselves into our children's lives, and what that looks like at different ages. Because it's really easy to get that joyful look from our 7-year-old. But for our 12-year-old, it's a different kettle of fish. Trying to get him engaged and get that level of engagement as they get older is really hard.
And I think the experiences part, though, helps a lot with that.
Definitely.
There's always something that they want to do.
Yeah.
And there's always something that fits each age group. So, it's just about being creative with it.
Definitely.
And, understanding what they like and what they want to do, and then, planning for that. But yeah, I think the experiences part, I know already, if you look at our youngest versus our oldest, we could easily think of things that would fit in both those areas.
Definitely.
And, with the eldest ones, the experiences are great because you get to spend time with them.
Yes.
And do things with them that, allow you to talk to them, allow you to share great experiences. And sometimes it's hard to talk to them. So it actually gives you a great opportunity to be able to do that.
I actually saw a really great example online the other day, someone that I follow on Instagram. For their children's birthdays, her and her husband take the day off work and they take their kid out of school, and the kid gets to do whatever they want for the hours, like the school hours. So that's a really great idea as well. There's obviously financial implications of that and what have you.
Yeah, depending on how many kids you got too.
But, isn't that a great opportunity to spend that time with that particular child, both parents? Because quite often it's one or the other. It's not both of us being able to share these experiences with one child, because what do you do with the other children, especially if they're younger? But I thought that was a really, really great thing to see that other people are doing as well, and, giving that joy to their children. So there's ways you can do it, and ways that aren't so extravagant, and, playing schools in the living room on a Saturday morning might be just what the doctor ordered in your family, and that's what we do as well. But it's also nice to have those special occasions.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes down to thinking about it, doesn't it? Like actually spending time on it and caring about it to go and do it. And it's hard for all of us to spend that time to think about it and then to give that time, but it's so rewarding, and for them, it's something that is really special, and it shows that they're special. So you can see the value in it. And that schools, I might play that for 10 minutes. I'm not trying to, I know you would do it for hours, and
I will.
You would, because you're incredible. But but even just those little parts, I think the little parts just show that you want to be involved, you care, you're interested, and I think kids really need that, but they don't tell you that.
No.
They don't know how to communicate that. They don't show that, but they really do need it, and it's really special. You don't have a lot of opportunities with it, so it's really important to try and grab it with two hands when you can.
Definitely. So if you guys have any ideas that we can use, or if you use some of our ideas, give us a shout. We'd love to hear your feedback. But yeah, so go on and create joy.
And lots of great experiences. Have a good one, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.